O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Ahurquit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Welcome to this deep dive. I'm your host, and today we're looking into Marie-Louise von Franz and her Jungian analysis of ancient mythology.
Right, I'm thrilled to be here. We'll be specifically focusing on the objective psyche, which is, that deep, shared, unconscious architecture of the human mind.
Exactly. And the mission for this deep dive is for you, the listener, to finally understand why love is inherently painful. Like how that exact suffering actually acts as a mandatory psychological upgrade.
Yeah, a process psychologists call individuation.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this. Because when most of us picture Cupid, or Eros as the Greeks called him, we imagine a harmless, chubby baby in a diaper.
Just happily shooting romantic arrows around.
Yeah, totally harmless. But the ancient sources actually describe him as this terrifying cosmic torturer, which leaves us with a pretty profound question. Why on earth does our ego need to be tortured by love just to mature?
I mean, it sounds totally backwards, but what's fascinating here is the butterfly motif that the ancients used to explain this.
Wait, a butterfly?
Yeah, so in ancient Greek, the word psyche actually means both soul and butterfly. And if you watch a butterfly, it's super flighty, it's evasive.
It just flits away the second you get close.
Exactly. And the human soul behaves the exact same way. It naturally wants to flutter away from the heavy, painful demands of earthly commitment and relationships.
Oh, I see. So it's much easier to just hide in the safety of, sterile intellectualism.
Right, or casual detachment where we can't really get hurt.
Staying in our heads rather than risking our hearts. It's safe, but, it keeps us totally isolated.
And that isolation is exactly why Eros has to act as a torturer. According to classical metaphors, Eros brutally captures this evasive butterfly of a soul and presses it directly against his chest.
Like right against the heart center.
Yes, the anahata. And by crushing the soul against reality, Eros forces the ego out of its narcissistic, childish illusions.
Wow. So it's agonizing pressure, but it drags us out of our heads and into genuine human connection.
It forces us into the raw reality of it, yeah.
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. Because if our instinct is to fly away from pain, how does love keep us grounded long enough to mature? The sources mention this striking ancient visual. It's an archaeological gem.
Oh, right, the carving of the goddess Psyche.
Yes, it shows Psyche with her hands bound behind her back. Eros has tied her to a column that ends in a sphere. And I have to push back on this. Are we saying that to achieve psychological growth, we just have to become helpless hostages to our own feelings?
Well, it definitely feels like being a hostage. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, this restriction is purposeful. It's teleological.
What's the purpose of being tied up, though?
So the column she's tied to represents the inescapable reality of the material world. It's the hard facts of your destiny, your daily obligations, and your dependencies on other people.
But how does being chained to reality actually get you to that sphere on top? Tying someone to a post just stops them from moving.
It stops them from running away. When you are tied to the column of your responsibilities, say, a serious relationship, you can't just flutter off when things get difficult.
You're forced to stay put.
Exactly. You stay put, you look at your own flaws, and you deal with your partner's flaws. That constant, inescapable friction is what burns away your illusions.
Which brings us to the sphere.
Right. In depth psychology, the sphere represents the ultimate goal. The self, cosmic totality, a fully realized personality. You simply can't reach the sphere without the friction of the column.
It's almost like a broken bone that has to be put in a rigid, uncomfortable cast. You lose your freedom temporarily, but that restriction is the only way the bone can heal back stronger.
That is a perfect way to look at it. But of course, our immediate reaction to that cast is usually anger. The sources actually share this brilliant anecdote about Carl Jung's dog.
Oh, Joggy the Schnauzer.
Yeah. Once, the dog got his paw accidentally trapped in a door. And as Jung was trying to gently free the trapped paw, Joggy bit Jung's hand out of sheer panic and pain.
And we do the exact same thing with love. We instinctively lash out against the painful pressure and ecstasy that is actually trying to heal our spiritual sterility.
We bite the hand that's trying to heal us, yes, because the ego wants to remain the center of the universe. Without Eros holding you to the fire of real connection, you would just remain that flighty butterfly.
Completely cut off.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean? It means that for you, listening right now, your past heartbreaks, your relationship struggles, the times you felt totally trapped by your feelings, they aren't mere accidents.
Not at all.
They are the mandatory psychological upgrade. They are the necessary crucible required to shatter a rigid ego and build deep conscious wisdom.
You don't get the sphere without surviving the column. You have to endure the restriction to get the transformation.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to mull over. If the torture of love is required to burn away our illusions, what painful restriction in your life right now might actually be the exact column you are tied to, precisely so you can reach your ultimate sphere of totality?